Yo, hello guys, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we'll be reviewing tier list of Keshins and Awakenings, as well as Bone Transform, just for the sake of them being there. Now, when it comes to tier list, I would firstly like to introduce how I'm gonna be ranking these specific Keshins. Let's begin with the S+. In my opinion, everything that's gonna be in S+ is pretty much you must run it. Like, you must have it. Everything else is pretty much kinda weaker compared to it. S tier, in my opinion, it's still really strong. It just has a little bit of a flaw, but it's still really, really strong. A+ tier, in my opinion, is our kind of B tier. It's the middle ground. It's okay, it's really strong, but still just lacks a little bit of firepower. In the A tier, we're gonna have Keshins that are pretty much mediocre, I would say, to the point where they kind of drag you down because of their passive not being that good. And then in the A-, it's just, let's say, the definition of a troll pick. Depending on how we're going with this, we may also add a B tier, but we're gonna try to stay with those 5 tiers for the entire video. Now, let's simply look at what we have over here. First and most importantly, this was the list I made when the game was fairly new, and let's say it was really before Galaxy update, so pretty much this is a really early stage of a tier list, and in my opinion, it's completely wrong. I'm gonna edit this. I'm gonna also add the Keshins of the Ares update because we got so many new Keshins, and some of them are really interesting when it comes to them, but some of them are completely trash, which is really unlucky, because some of them are really cool when you just look at them. Now, let me just rethink my thoughts, and I'll come back with the finished tier list and including the Ares Keshins. Okay, and we're back, guys, with the official tier list for the Ares update. Now, something to mention is that this took me 1 to 2 weeks to complete because I wanted to try a few Keshins and I wanted to see how well they will be in my personal team. And while I was at university, sometimes I played a game or two. I just summon a random Keshin on the laptop with 30 FPS and experiment how good the Keshin will perform. So this took a while. The video that you were watching before with the old tier list, of course it was completely wrong, but it was taken 2 weeks ago. Anyways, let's go into the tier list. So the SS tier, all of the awakenings in my opinion are super strong. Not only do they give you movement speed, but they give you different benefits. So in my opinion, every single awakening in the game is absolutely strong. For example, I started running Insta Burst on my Bazara midfielders, as before I was running Souls. And in my opinion, it's really, really strong, because the Insta Burst, even though it's probably the awakening that lacks a little bit of power, in my opinion, it's still really good. You can easily, for the awakenings, you can easily just say whichever you want is the best one. I am not gonna sit here and say, oh, but the Insta Burst is the best one. No, everything on the tier has barely any difference. I've just placed them like that. Next up, we have the 3 Keshins that in my opinion can keep up with those awakenings. The first Keshin is of Wolfram. Wolfram's Keshin gives you, on the opposition half of pitch, plus 10 focus for the entire team. In my opinion, this Keshin is really good, and it combines really well when it comes to draining tension on the opponent. Especially, for example, you take a shot, you have this Keshin summoned, and if you can get in a focus fight with the tension draining character you have, for example a top midfielder or something, you can get such a good value out of this Keshin, no matter if you have an elemental advantage or a disadvantage. It all depends if the opponent is gonna pass, of course, but in my opinion this Keshin is really strong for that reason. On top of that, it gives you an offensive move, which means that if you summon it and you want to go aggressive because of the more focus you have, you can easily do that. And yes, I will take into account what move the Keshin gives you, and I'll give you a quick example of that. For example, in the S tier, you can see that we have Apollo, we have Shining Dragon, but for example, in A plus, we have this Keshin over here, which has the same buff as Shining Dragon and Apollo, but he has a dribbling move, and that's why I've put it in A plus. The buff that they have is for players of the same position plus 10 shot AT. So therefore this one, as it has the same numbers as them, but it has a dribbling, therefore it's a little bit worse in my opinion. Anyways, the next Keshin we have to talk about is Vampy's Keshin. Vampy's Keshin is kind of the opposite of Wolfram's Keshin. It gives you 15%, not 10, on your half of the pitch team focus, which is great, don't get me wrong. On top of that, it gives you a dribbling Hisatsu once again, which is really strong in my opinion. It's one of the Keshins that is pretty much, you can run it on all of your midfielders and defenders. If you have more tension drain on the defense, you can easily make much more use out of this Keshin on your half of the pitch, but it all comes down to where you're playing the tension drain. So therefore, in my opinion, it's still SS no matter what. Next one might surprise you. It's the Firebird Keshin. It has literally the same as Vampy's Keshin, the same benefit. On your half of the pitch plus 15 focus for the entire team. Once again, this one has a shot, that's the only difference, but in my opinion, since every single other Keshin that is as strong as them is in the S plus tier, and this one just has 5% more, it's in the SS. On top of that, if you have it on a forward, for example, you take a shot, now you have to defend because you've scored a goal, or even if you have not scored, now you have to defend. Your entire team on your half of the pitch is gonna have 15% more. So in my opinion, it's great. It's great. You cannot go wrong with it. You can easily use it. Now let's go into the S plus tier. The S plus tier has Keshins that are still fairly strong, just has a tiny bit something that's a tiny bit dragging them down than the Awakenings and the Keshins in the SS tier. We're starting off with Keshins that of course can buff your entire team on the opposition and on your half of the pitch. I've ranked them just as equally. Some people may ask why are the shot Keshins not as strong as Wolfram's Keshin. In my opinion, it's all the dribbling Hisatsu. That's it. If we had a Keshin with a defense Hisatsu, the same benefit as Wolfram's Keshin, he would be in SS in my opinion too. But since, for example, the male lover has a shot, and for example Matei Griffon has a shot, I've chosen to place them in S plus. They can be as strong as him, but in my opinion just the dribbling Hisatsu is much better. That's why I've placed him. So if you don't like this, you can easily place them in SS. It doesn't really change anything. So still, all of the Keshins that have something are in here. I've seen some people say something about Franz Keshin, but if you're gonna sit and talk about Franz Keshin because it has a defense Hisatsu and it's on your half of the pitch, plus 10% focus, not as for example Vampy's and Firebird, but then again Plasma Shadow has the same, and the Plasma Shadow, I'm pretty sure he had a much cheaper Hisatsu. So therefore, in my opinion, these are the same and they should be in S+. They have just a 5% difference with the Keshins in SS, and that's why I've chosen to place them in S+. Let's move on to those two, the Entertainer and I don't know the name of. They have for different positions focus AT and DF, which is really good. You can give the Entertainer to a defender, it's gonna be really strong, and you can give this Keshin to your forward and it's gonna boost your entire team besides the other forward that you have. In my opinion, ultimately good Keshins, you cannot go wrong with them. Are they as strong as Awakenings? I don't think so, but still they can have their niche situation and they are still gonna benefit your team. What am I supposed to say? And they're still gonna benefit your team really nicely. Next we have own focus on the opposition half of pitch Keshins. In my opinion, they're all great. I personally just prefer Gamma's Keshin. I don't prefer this one, the Sonic Overdrive Keshin. In my opinion, it's not as good because Deep Jungle is in the game. It's a 100 power shoot blockable move which you can upgrade. And once you upgrade it, you can easily stop this Keshin's Hisatsu because it's air. But it's still a personal choice. If you like any of them, they're equally as strong. You can use whichever you want. I just don't advise you into using this one. And then we have Neptune. Neptune has the same passive as them, only though he has a shot. Depending on the situation, you can easily make him go above them, but for the most part, I would rather have a dribbling once again than a shot. That's how I see the things. Next we have Dragoon. Dragoon is good. It's a guaranteed 20% on focus on your half of the pitch for the person that has it. It does not benefit your team, but this one has grown on me, and after testing him around, he actually can be a really good choice when it comes to tension draining. The way you're gonna use it is really simple. You just keep track of the opponent's hyperpower move. Once they don't have it, you just summon this Keshin. You use the focus field to enter the focus fight with them, and if they pass because you have 20% more focus, pretty much if you have tension drain, you're gonna benefit a lot. And that's where this Keshin is getting funny. Outside of it, the Keshin kinda sucks, not the best, but still I chose to rank it in here because it can be fun, and that's great. Next we have Keshins that I did not know for a long time where to put, but in my opinion they're still really good. We have for a player, when a player of a different elements nearby, own focus plus 20%, which is huge. It can go up to 80 depending on the situation, maybe 100, but I don't think you ever find yourself with 80 or 100. They're both good in my opinion. In my opinion, once again, the Plasma Shadow offense Keshin, because it has a dribbling Hisatsu, is again simply better than the Pegasus Arc Red version, but you can still make use of them equally. They're still as good. Next we have Jag Warrior, we have Amaterasu, and we have Pegasus Arc, the normal version. And their passive was for players of the same elements nearby, own focus plus 20%. This is also good. It just requires you to stack the same element, and I can easily see them falling down to S. I've placed them here because they have defense Hisatsus, which is really good. Of course, Pegasus Arc, once again, is a little bit underranked because of the short Hisatsu. The Horseman had, for players of different elements, plus 10 focus. On top of that, it has a shot. I think it's a good Keshin. You cannot go wrong with it. So again, S+. And then we have shot Keshins. This one was for players of different elements, plus 10 shot AT, which is good. On top of that, it has a void Hisatsu, that's why I also ranked it a little bit higher than the rest. And those two Keshins are pretty much guaranteed value because you get on the opposition half of pitch plus 10 shot AT, which is just guaranteed value. On top of that, you get a strong Hisatsu. Therefore, in my opinion, they easily can be S+. Or if you're looking for the strongest Keshin for shooting, they can be the SS Keshin. Next up, we have the S-Star. The S-Star just lacks a tiny bit of strength, and they can easily be considered in the S+ category. We're starting off with Plasma Shadow, Imagine Victory, and this new Keshin from the Iris update. They have, when a player of a different elements nearby, plus 20 on shot. Plus 20% on shot, which is crazy. It really seems like a really strong buff. Plasma Shadow, one thing to mention is that he has a cheaper Hisatsu, because it's a little bit less power than Imagine Victory, for example, in this Keshin. But this is really situational, and most of the time when you can get a free shot on the opponent, there is no one close by, so this passive is not proccing. I love using them because they do have really cool Hisatsus, and they are really cool Keshins, but in my very honest opinion, they need a tiny bit of a buff when it comes to that range, and maybe we can perhaps get them to be better. And then behind them we have the opposite of them, when a player of the same elements nearby plus 20 shot 80. It's good. Surtur has the cheapest Hisatsu because it's 70 tension, Shion has 80 tension Hisatsu, and Astaroth has 100 tension Hisatsu. I think that was his name, correct me if I'm wrong. They're good, you can make some good value out of them, but you need to stack the same element. So this can go the opposite way, and especially now with different people preferring to have different elements, I can see this not being as good. This one was a focus Keshin. I think it was for players of the same position, plus 10 focus. It's good, you can easily give it to your midfielders and make everyone stronger, which can also make them be better with tension drain. It's not bad, I think it's good. So therefore, S-tier, no matter what Hisatsu it had, because I cannot remember what Hisatsu it had, I'm sorry. Next we have for nearby players plus 10 focus. It's good, but again, it sometimes does not trigger correctly. I do have to give it the benefit of the doubt because it's a dribbling Keshins, and they are gonna be really good on your midfielders. They can easily go to the top of S because they are focus Keshins again, but in my opinion, sometimes they just don't proc correctly. And on top of that, you are giving it to the players around you and not to yourself, aka the person that you summon the Keshin on. So in my opinion, they are not as strong. Then we have Keshins that are just guaranteed value once again. You summon them and the other person that you wanna chain to gets 10% more kick, which is good, especially if you wanna go for a curve shot. They are nice, they give you a shot, which is wonderful. I don't have anything bad to say about them, I just have not played enough with them. In my opinion, if you can use them, you can easily use them, but if you don't want to use them, on two of these Keshins you can go for the armored version, just to give you a tiny bit more power to your normal shots, but again, they give you a really strong shot, so you can go for that as well. And lastly, we have Keshins that give you much more tension when you win a focus or scramble, and that's huge. In my opinion, depending on the team composition that you have, those Keshins can be easily SS to the point where they are actually really good when you summon them. But now that we've seen the meta shake and many more players playing more and more of tension gain when winning a focus or scramble, in my opinion, these Keshins have just dropped a little bit, but they're still really strong. If you're looking for a sleeper Keshins, those are the perfect Keshins in my opinion for you to pick up, and no matter where you place them, even if you want to place them on a defender or a midfielder or a forward, most of them of course don't give you a Hisatsu because most of them are goalkeeping Keshins, but you can easily just make good use out of their passive, and that's great. I think this should be the balancing point of the Keshins in the game. They should be just as strong as them. They are situational, but they're runnable. That's perfect in my opinion. The A+ tier in my opinion are Keshins that just lack a tiny bit. For example, Lancelot, he has the same buff as Magic Victory and Plasma Shadow in this one, but it's cut in half. It's not 20%, it's 10%, and that's why Lancelot in my opinion drops with one tier to the A+. It's still different element, which is still really good, but not as strong. Then we have Koumei's Keshin. It was on your half of the pitch, plus 10% on focus, which is meh. It gives you a dribbling, and again, I don't see a reason into running it over Dragoon, or I don't see a reason into running it over Lycon. It's just not good. I'm sorry to say it. It's one of my favorite Keshins, but it's not good. Then we have Maestro. He gives you focus on focus when the player of the same elements nearby plus 10%, which depending on the team composition you have can go up, but I would not rather stack the same element, so therefore I also chose him to be here. It's not as good. which is weird. Next we have a castle wall Keshin, and that's the white rook. The white rook gave you a really good castle wall buff if you have the same element, I think, or maybe different, I don't remember, but it was decent. It's by far the best castle wall buff you can have, so in my opinion it's runnable, but I don't see myself running it, so therefore it's A+. Next we have, I already said about him, he has a dribbling Hisatsu, he does not have a shot, he has the same buff as White Dragon and Apollo, therefore in my opinion he's just a tiny bit worse in A+. Next we have the rough play Keshins, and they're kinda rare, so therefore I chose to put them in A+. In my opinion they're decent, it's just that we don't have a rough play Keshin that has a dribbling or a defense, and I'm waiting to see one. Next we have all of the Keshins that give you something with castle wall. They are decent. I've seen someone actually make use of them to stop a really powerful shot, but it's really situational. Most of the time I would advise you not to go for them, or if you can go for example for the armored version, just go for it. I don't think they're this strong. Most of the time they don't help you at all. It's so rare for me to summon the Keshin and get use of it, so yeah, not the best. Next we have Keshins that give you bond power when you pass. In my opinion, Magent Pegasus is by far the best one because he has a dribbling Hisatsu, so it will help you. The rest are pretty much goalkeeping Keshins, and Athene is by far the worst one. Please don't run Athene, because just imagine yourself summoning Athene and then you have to take a shot. The opponent catches the ball, or you score, and pretty much the opponent has the ball for the rest of the time that Athene is summoned. Therefore, you don't get to use the passive of the Keshin, because you need the ball to be in your possession to make use of the passive. It's not a good Keshin, I'm sorry. They have good number, but it's by far not good. And then we have Keshins that give you save rate plus 5%, which gives you more of a chance to get the perfect save. Of course, something to mention is that Atlas has a tiny bit cheaper Hisatsu, but it's tiny bit less powerful. In my opinion, if they just buff the percentage from 5 to 10, which is doubling it, they can be better, but as of right now it's like you're playing without any buff, because most of the time you don't get anything. So in my opinion these Keshins need some changes in some different way. If they do help you, they feel actually really rewarding, but it's just not good enough. Next up we have Breach Keshins. Breach Keshins, I have to give them the benefit of the doubt. They got Breach buffed in the last update, therefore they kinda also are getting buffed a tiny bit, because Breach does not suck that much. But in my opinion, I don't find myself needing to run them, so they are even worse than the save rate Keshins. And next we have Scramble Keshins, and holy, Scramble Keshins suck. Most of the time when I was running them, Scramble did not even happen, in which case I basically was playing without a buff, and that was the issue with the Breach Keshins. Most of the time when I was running them, Breach did not happen, and I did not get anything. I can easily see the save rate Keshins also dropping to A with them, but in my opinion most of them are fine. So Breach, Scramble, I'm sorry, you guys are griefing, you need buffs. Lastly we have the Keshins that suck, and the only power up that sucks. Let's talk about the Bond Transform. I tested the Bond Transform, and most of the time while I was testing it, I ended up transforming into someone and not having a Hisatsu. Not being able to use any kind of Hisatsu, which grieved me. I think they should bug fix this. Until then, I advise you to not running it. It's really bad. Next we have Meganes Keshin, which gives you, when a player of the same element, or maybe it was different. No, I think it was same. When a player of the same elements nearby on focus plus 20%, this is a goalkeeping Keshin. And we already have 3 Keshins that have defense and a shot. So pretty much you never ever are gonna benefit with this on your goalkeeper. And if you want to make the argument that you want to run it, you have stronger Keshins that can do the same and give you a Hisatsu. Therefore, don't use it. The last Keshin that I'm mostly disappointed of, and by far looks the best in my opinion, and I was really wanting to play it, is the Demogorgon. The Demogorgon has, for nearby players, plus 10% kick. And this is a grief. You're a goalkeeper and you want to give them kick? Who do you want to give kick? It's just not good. I am gonna make a special video for the Demogorgon just because of how iconic and cool it is. But in my opinion, this Keshin just needs changes, man. You can quadruple the buff and it will still not be usable. The only time I can see this being useful is if you have castle wall defenders close by with Zero Magnum leveled up to 4 and you give them more kick, and when they reverse the shot, oh bam, you get a free goal. But this will be really rare because you need tension, you need hyper power. On top of that, you need a castle wall down. On top of that, the opponent needs to shoot in the castle wall. So therefore, this is so rare to proc. And I can kind of see what they were going for, but this Keshin just sucks. Please buff it or change the passive of it. It's not good. Same for this one. You just need to buff them. Make them rough play, I guess, and they are gonna be 10 times better. But as of right now, not really a reason for you to use them, and that sucks because I love the Demogorgon. It's by far one of my favorite Keshin designs in the game. Yet it sucks. And that's gonna be it for the video, guys. Now you guys are gonna see Seishi's tier list because he chose to make something real quick, and you're gonna see a recording of me going over it because I don't wanna re-record that. I'm sorry if the sound in the upcoming clip of it is bad. I'm so sorry, but that's it. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. Okay guys, let's quickly go over this really quickly. This is Seyshi stylist. You can probably find his info in the description if I'm not too lazy enough to put it, but this is Seyshi stylist. Let's quickly go over it. In the S+ tier, he chose to place the keeper's grid. I can get why, but isn't every awakening as strong? Anyways, let's go over to the S tier. The S tier, in my opinion, interesting. Absolutely interesting. I don't have anything bad to say about it. I just don't know how this Keshin, which pretty much has the same benefit as Apollo, is in there, but Apollo is here. It's weird. Or like, why is Surtur here when Shion is here? I mean, it's weird to me, but I can see the idea behind it. I don't know why the Firebird is here. That one is wild, but I can see why this one is over here. Interesting titles. Maybe it's not every single Keshin at the moment, but as you guys can see, Vampy's Keshin is in here, which mad respect for it being here. Then we have Wolfram's Keshin being a little bit behind it, which again, I don't know why this one is here. That one is wild. Maybe I can see the White Dragon because this one is here, being together in here. I don't know why this one is here though. Imagine Victory. Sure. I can see maybe this one being in S tier. Then we have all of the Awakenings, Elemental Catalyst, Ironclad Guardian, Instant Burst, Burning Overdrive, the Keshin of Fran Ryuk, shit it is, okay. The Plasma Shadow DF, the Plasma Shadow Offense, and the Plasma Shadow AT, aka Forward. Neptune, ooh, that one is interesting. Okay. Catenaccio Lovers, whatever they were called, the Lovers Keshin, the Forward one. I mean the Offense one, which is for the opponent's half of pitch plus 10% team focus, good one. Another Keshin similar to Magic Victory. I don't know why it's here. It has the same benefit though. The Keshin of Asta, which has the same benefit as Magic Victory, just it's the same element, not the different element. It's okay. And then we have both of the Horse Keshins. Nice. And the Red Pegasus Arc. Huh. I mean, if I have to guess, probably in the S tier there is no difference between those. They're just all in here and they all have the same strength. That's kind of wild that the Awakenings are in here with the Keshins, but that's my take. Whatever. The only difference that why is Jag Warrior here when Amaterasu and Pegasus Arc are here? that one is wild. Clara Bunny also has the same passive as White Dragon and Shoes Keshin, so that one is weird to be here. A Castle O Keshin in A+ star? Oh. Those two Keshin have on the opposition have pitch plus 10 shot power. That's okay for them. I think I can see them being in A+ star. Definitely a good feedback. Then we have a few more of Team Keshins. I mean Team Fox Keshins, which is cool. Then we have those two Keshins, which this one has the same benefit as this one. It's weird to be here. Well, whatever. I already forgot what this one was. I think for the same position. Ah, yeah, same position at focus. Okay, I can see it in A+. I think I also placed it there. Okay, let's move to the 8 tier. Castle Wall. Shot Keshin, similar to Surtur, just tiny bit more expensive Hisatsu. Lancelot, look where Magic Victory is and look where Lancelot is. I can see this as an actual good feedback, not gonna lie. The Entertainer being this low, I can see that also. I can see that. And then, oh, he actually doesn't like for the different positions because this one is also here. And I cannot believe that Komei's Keshin is in here with them actually. Like, it's so much more weaker in my opinion. Anyways. I can see this being okay. Maybe, I guess. The A-, we have the Bomb Transform, okay. And we have a bunch, the Rough Play Keshin, okay. What? Matei Griffon? No! Why are you here, baby? You're at least S-tier. And then again, the other lovers, which is on your half of the pitch, focus. I mean, I can see it, but again, if you score a goal and then you have to defend, yeah, you have the Firebird, which is a little bit better with 5%. But this one is a different element, so you have to take that into account, you know. This one is air, and the Firebird is fire, I think? Or maybe the Hisatsu is still air, I'm not sure. I should probably double check that. And White Queen, I don't know, I think these 4 Keshins should be at least A+ to S, but that's my take. And then we have KO King Burn. Oof. I mean, I guess he doesn't like that much attention gain Keshins because they're also kinda underplaced a little bit into this category. I can see all of them being here, which is weird. In my opinion, they're actually guaranteed value goalkeeping Keshins, and it's kind of wild to see them there. Everything else pretty much I can agree with. It's a Breach Keshin, or maybe a Bond Keshin, or maybe Scramble Keshin. I can agree. Only this one is the funniest one. But sure, let's I have not asked him, but I'm gonna guess that between the different tiers and between the different Keshins, if they're in the same tier, they are pretty much in the same tier. There is no difference. Okay, that's pretty wild. He did not choose to create any more rows, for example a B row or F row, whatever. It's fine. That's Seishi's Keshin tier list. He said he rushed it a little bit, so maybe it's not as accurate for him anymore. But I can see him coming back to this, and that's his opinions changing a little bit if he gets to put more time into his thoughts, for sure. But yeah, thanks so much for Sage for being here, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.